Hey guys, welcome back. This is Sit and Speak Your Truth. I'm Z, and today I'm going to share with you some information that I came across regarding women in retirement. And I have it right here. I'm going to read it to you because I don't want to mess up the stats. So, only 32% of women who have not yet retired, so they're still working, believe their retirement savings are actually on track. They believe they are. So that means a whopping 68% feel that they are not on track. They're not where they need to be to comfortably retire. And this was sourced from the Federal Reserve 2025 Household Income Well-Being Survey. So I just thought that that was really interesting because I know that I too, although I am not yet retired, I kind of retired myself just for sanity's sake. I needed to. But when you're not quite there, right? And it's interesting because oftentimes women, people in general, but particularly women that work, it's not like back in the late 60s, the 70s, 80s, you would get a job, right out of high school or from graduating college, and you would just stay there for 30 years, 35, 40 years. And of course, you've been paying into this system. You've been with the same employer. And so, you have a decent sized nest egg before all this inflation and stuff came up, right? But now, oftentimes, people do not necessarily stay in jobs like that. You don't stay in jobs for the long haul. And if you're a government worker like I was, you need to be vested. So luckily, I came in and was hired about 3 months before they changed the vesting policy. So I was able to get vested, I think after my first, I think it was 5 years you were vested. And then after that, they changed it to 10 years. But in any event, that's still not, a lot of time, and it's not a lot of money. So I think many women are finding themselves, if they're still currently working, they're finding themselves in a position where they may not feel that they're comfortably ready to retire. And some people are at retirement age and thought, that they would be good, but with everything that's going on with the economy and inflation and the rising of everything from food prices to, gas prices, electricity and water bills are going up because of all these AI data centers going up all around town, right? It's just not, you don't have the same amount of money. You're not going to be able to be comfortably retired. And a lot of people are looking, unfortunately, a lot of women are looking at going back into the workforce, part-time, just to kind of be able to offset and supplement their income. I say it all the time because it frustrates me. Just the way that the world is set up is just the way that the world was set up. But we did not come here to be workhorses and just work all the time. It is sad to, and I'm on social media, not a lot, but enough, just to see so many women that are actually struggling. I've come across so many shorts where, even young people, young girls are, they're in their car, they're crying. They don't, they just lost their job. They have children. They don't know where their, next meal is coming from, how they're going to cover the rent. Older people, are not able to live in homes. They're living out of cars now, not because it's something that they choose to do, because that is a choice for many people. But it's something that they're forced to do because of their situation. And it is heartbreaking. So I just, if you're a woman who is in her solo season, that's what I refer to women who are, over 50 and you're doing life, independently on your own. You don't have a partner. You're not married. Times like now can be very, very difficult. So, you're worrying about, where you're going to get this extra money from. Are you going to have enough money to put, gas in the car to make it to your part-time job? Are you going to have enough money to get, food on the table to make it through until you get your next Social Security check? Whatever the case may be, times are very difficult and dire right now. And I was feeling that pressure as well. And I just realized, for me, it's not necessary. It wasn't a point of, quitting a job and being retired. I'm not old enough and I haven't put in enough time, to retire like that. But I did want to be able to take myself out of that grind of the 9 to 5 that, I had been doing for so long. And, for almost 20 years, I worked 2 full-time jobs. It just was, it absolutely just drains the energy out of you. And I didn't want to do that anymore. And another thing is that I really just did not want to, I did not want to stay in the States, because I could feel, the energy of the States changing. It was absolutely palpable. And to be perfectly honest with you, no shade, I was really concerned, for my safety because I did not know what was going to happen from one day to the next. It was uncomfortable for me. And I really felt guided by spirit to leave the U.S. So that's what I did. But even once I landed in Central America, I said I was going to give myself some time to just kind of get my bearings, get, what they say, get your sea legs straight. Cause I kind of felt a little, cause I had done a lot in a very short period of time. My father had passed away, I quit. I left my job. I had a relationship that went south. There was just a lot of things that happened. And so when I left the States, I hadn't even sold my house yet. It was on the market. And I was just like, I have to go because it just was weighing so heavy on me. I could not, I felt like I was suffocating and I just needed to get out so I could breathe. And so once I landed here, I took some time to heal from all the trauma that I had been through, in a really kind of short period of time. And then I woke up and I realized, you can't live off of savings until it's time to retire. So what are you going to do, Z? What are you going to do, really? And I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew whatever I was going to do, I was going to be doing it online. And, I had money to sustain me while I was here, but wasn't going to last forever. And so I had to do something. And so I started, kind of praying about it. To be perfectly honest with you, I was like, Spirit, I don't know what you have in store for me, but I know that I need to find a way to earn income. I need to make money. I don't need to be, a millionaire overnight, but I need to be able to comfortably have enough to, pay my bills here and, to put some savings away. And so I came across this system, which is a done-for-you digital educational program is what I'll call it. It's a platform. It's an educational platform where you learn about, digital marketing. And, I thought, well, digital marketing, I've heard of it. I know about it. You see all of these people on YouTube and, they're talking about courses that they're selling and I have this and I have that. And, I said, I'm pretty sure that that's what digital marketing is. And then with the influx of AI, and then I'm hearing about, how you can use AI to do things more simply, make things easier, how AI can carry, the bulk of the weight. And I thought, well, if I learn how to implement that, and, I find I can implement that into a system that I find that's going to work for me, maybe that'll work. And so that's what I started doing. And so I found the system that's done for you. It is automated. It is a system that, once I bought it, I can resell it. And I get 100% pure profit. So anyone that buys it from me, I get 100% pure profit. Anyone that buys for them, the same way. It's called master resale rights, MRR. So, I bought the system and then I started just going through, I don't even know how many trainings there are. There are so many trainings in this thing. And at first I was just overwhelmed. I was like, oh my God, it's so much. But I just had to take it, bite by bite. So as they say, so I just started doing things bit by bit. And the wonderful thing is that you can go through it at your own pace and you can have the ability to earn, while you're learning. So, I put in 2 hours a day. I record a video. I do some shorts, I post them. And I'm generating, I have the ability to generate income that way. And then also while I was in the program, when I'm going through these trainings, I'm learning how to use, use and implement AI. I'm learning about, generating the proper AI prompts. I'm learning about how to use Canva, and then I started learning a lot of things independently on my own just from learning AI. I learned how to, generate my logo and my banner for YouTube, and just learning how to prompt AI the proper way. That was like a huge, thing to learn, because once I was able to do that, and then I can prompt AI to, do this, do that. And then it just does the work for you. It's like, wow. And I learned how to work inside Canva and create things in Canva. And, so then I was thinking, okay, well, I'm learning all these skills. Why don't I try and put some of it to work? So that's when I created my very first digital product. So I created a freebie based upon relocating, because that's what I did, right? I relocated from the US to Panama. So I have a free checklist that I created. And then I actually sat down and it took me about maybe a week. It took me about maybe a week because I'm very detailed. So I went through and I created this 120-day emergency relocation guide, because I left the States in like 4 months. I went on a relocation tour to Panama in September of 24, and I was here in January of 25. So it just happened like, it was really quick. And the reason for the urgency for me was because I'll be perfectly honest. I'm being transparent. Don't judge me. I don't believe in living in fear. But in the same token, when I feel like I'm being guided to do something, I feel like I need to act quickly. And so I felt guided by spirit to leave the U.S. and come here. And because that was weighing heavily on my energy, I was moving, and I was moving fast. And so I was able to make that move in a little under four months, 120 days with, my dog. And there is a lot that you have to do if you have a pet. So I just started kind of like jotting things down. I was taking notes. Oh, I should remember this. Oh, this, site was really helpful with X, Y, and Z. Oh, when I had to go to the consulate, this is what I needed to do. And it's just so much information. And so I just compiled everything, into like a little ebook, a guide that, I sell, and it generates income. So, I learned those skill sets from this educational platform, from Legacy Builders. And I continue to learn. And the thing that I love about it so much is the fact that it is a huge community. So we always used to say, oh, we're over 60,000 strong. Now we're over 61,000 strong. People that see the opportunity, and see what it brings to bear, what it has to offer. And it's really exciting when you sit and you think about all the things that you've learned in life, all the skill sets that you've acquired, maybe from different positions, from holding different types of jobs, just the knowledge that you have, the skill sets that you've acquired, the life experience that you've acquired, the things that you've been through that you can turn into a digital product. People who have healed, themselves from cancer using, juicing and organic foods, or people who have, gotten through a messy divorce and come out on the other side, people who have dealt with, a narcissistic parent. So many things that you can create based upon your experience, and be able to create it one time, and then you put it out there in the ether, and you have a platform already with Legacy to be able to do that. And you just create, and you just put things out there that people need, information that people will pay you for because they're going through a difficult time, or they don't know how to do something. Or in my case, maybe they want to relocate, but they're not sure where to start. Go get my guide. It'll tell you everything that you need to do. It's in the description, by the way. So, I just saw this as, I'm thinking, if everyone just started doing this, this would just be the wave of the future. This is how people would make money, and this is how people would get information. So, why do you need to pay $100,000 for a graduate degree when you can learn everything it is that you need to learn on your own time, in your own way? It's a system that is just incredible. I don't understand why people are not, and some people are snapping at the bit, to get to it, because when you think about all the things that you can do, all the ways that you can generate, products, and by generating those products, you can create online income for yourself, is just remarkable. And one of the other things that I love about it is that the fact that the online income that you generate, when you put it out there one time, it sits in the ether. So whether you're using YouTube, or you're using a short, or you're doing a post on Facebook or on Instagram, an Instagram reel, or you're on Twitter, wherever you decide or you choose to do your advertising, it's there, right? So people can access it 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. The thing that people talk about most often is how, they wake up in the morning and they look at their phone and, oh my God, I made a $900 sale last night while I was sleeping. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. That's just the beauty of it. You can create content and you can sell your content. And in addition to that, you just can sell the program so that other people can learn how to do the same thing. And you're just generating money online. Online is going to be the way to make money in the future. It's not going to be about having jobs. I talk about this all the time in my videos. AI and all these AI data centers that they're throwing up, there is a reason for it, people. We're not going to have jobs in the conventional way that we've been known in the past to have employment. It's just not going to be there. So if you are someone that has skills, and you can teach someone how to do something, or you can show someone how to do something, or you can share an experience that you had that might help someone else through maybe a challenge or a difficult time, that's gold. That's gold. And I cannot emphasize enough, people are afraid to start things that are new. And certainly that was my case too. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I didn't pull the trigger on this until after I had known about it for 8 months, because I was skeptical. I was like, it sounds too good to be true. And then, I started doing some research and I was hearing all kinds of, and I said, I don't know. I'm not sure that this is going to work. I'm not sure this is going to be for me. But then I had to sit back and say, well, how can I know if I don't try? And, you can find a lot of people that, do reviews online or have something to say about systems, different types of systems and programs. But I bet you 9 times out of 10, they haven't even tried it. They haven't signed up. They haven't paid for the program. They don't know about what's in the program. They don't know about the community within the program. They don't know that the person that created the program gives you, weekly mentoring. You have weekly calls. You have weekly tech calls. You have a community where you can post questions and post wins, and people are there every day around the clock to support you. They don't see that part of legacy builders because they've never tried it. They just go off of what they supposedly heard from someone that did some supposed research. I don't respect that at all. If you don't try something for yourself and go 10 toes deep and give it a chance, you can't speak on it. You don't have personal experience. You can't speak on it. I'm telling you, having done it, and I am currently doing it, and going into this community every single day and knowing how it has affected me and my ability to be able to create income, and knowing all these other people that are just throwing up wins every single day. People are making money. If you just made one sale, if you just sold one program, if you just sold one program a month, just one, that's $1,400. the Legacy Builder Bundle Pack. If you just sold one, that's what I purchased. It's $1,400. Would $1,400 make a difference for you in your financial responsibilities? Would it give you some breathing room? I know, yeah, gives me breathing room. Give me some breathing room. Would it give you some breathing room? I'm not saying that, you have to quit your job and go start something new. But what I'm saying is it is smart if you're currently working, certainly to start something on the side that you can over time build, right? And if you just started off with, a $900 sale one time a month, well, multiply that by 12 months. That's more money than you would have had you not started. And it only takes 2 hours a day. That's the kicker. 2 hours a day. That's all it takes to do this. You can do that in the morning before you go to work. You can do it on a lunch break. You can split up the time. You can do it when you get in from work. 2 hours a day. To be able to create enough income that can make a definitive change in your life. You scale it the way that you want. You can go ham. Can it be a full-time job? Yeah, absolutely. But you still don't have to do more than 2 hours a day. That's all you need. An hour to make content, an hour to respond to comments on your content, and a half an hour to advertise. That's it. Post ads if you want to. You don't even have to do that. 2 hours a day. That's not a lot of time to build something that's yours, to build something that you own, to build something that you don't have to worry about AI coming to snatch up from underneath you. You don't have to worry about getting, a pink slip at lunch. You don't have to worry about, getting an email. Oh, can you show up for this? We're going to have this Zoom meeting. You don't have to worry about any of those things, right? And even if it does happen, you've been building all the while. So guess what? You're good. If you're retired and you're getting retirement income, that's great. But if you find that, you want to create something else, you want a little more security, a little more cushion because you see where the world is headed. Yeah, this is a great way to provide that cushion. So I'm just saying that I believe it works. I know it works because I've seen the proof of it with my own eyes. And it is going to be the way that people are earning in the future. There is no ceiling when you create your own. There's no ceiling with this. There's no ceiling. You don't have someone dictating how much you can earn in a week period or in a 2-week period or over the course of a month. You're not paid an hourly, rate. The sky is the limit. You just have to have conviction. You have to have the desire, and you need to have a phone or a laptop and an internet connection and your story, why you chose to go this route. That's all you need. It's easy as pie. So that's all I have for you all today because I'm going on close up to 24 minutes. But I thank you for sticking around. If you want to, if you're interested, Speak Your Truth, SYT, Speak Your Truth, all one word.com. The link is in the description box. And if you're thinking about relocating from the U.S. and you want some help in doing that, that also is in the description box for you. I'm considering thinking about doing some clarity calls for people, for women that might have some questions, just general questions about the process of moving and relocating, especially if you've never lived abroad before. So if that's something that you might be interested in, drop me a note in the comments and maybe I'll look at doing something like that in the future too. Okay, lowlies, that's all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for sticking around. Some of you keep showing up. I see you in my comments. I thank you. And you know what? When you're ready, you know what to do. Pull that trigger. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Y'all have a great one. Head on a swivel, HOAS. Too much stuff going on out there in the world, ladies. And always remember, keep speaking your truth. Love you much. Bye.